Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you are indeed watching this, and welcome to the VR League Recap Show. My name is Bowie, and I'm joined by Pansy, and we're here to bring you a kind of recap and a refresher on everything that has been going on in the VR League very, very recently.
Yeah, because there's been a lot going on. Not just one game, several games. So why not bring it all together and give you guys an idea of how this has all happened, what's been going on in the various leagues, what's coming up, what we saw recently in Leicester. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot to get through as well. I mean, obviously, if you were watching last week, myself and Pansy were in Leicester, working casting Onward, but we did have, I believe, Echo Arena was being covered by our friends here in the Cologne studio in Germany for ESL. Obviously, this is brought to you by Intel, so thank you very much to them, obviously. But yeah, we'll be kind of taking you through the events of the tournament, who's been winning what, how that went down, as well as kind of looking forward, to see what else can happen with VR, with the VR League in future as well.
Because I'm still relatively new to a lot of these products. I'm playing catch up here because there's so much going on. So many games, so many teams, so many opportunities for these players now to get into that competitive side of things and really have a go at it. I love that. I love the fact that it's open for so many people to really have a go at. I got the chance, obviously, to cast Onward. That, to me, was my real specialty. But, I mean, I'm super up for everything now. It all looks so good. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things that it's a completely new way to play games as well, and obviously to get involved in, competitive gaming, rather. So I think it's a very exciting and new way in. So I think it's going to be a lot of exciting stuff happening over the course of the next few months, weeks, years, maybe we don't know. But that's kind of why we're here to kind of, get you guys excited for everything that is going to be happening. So we're going to be going over Echo Arena and Onward mainly, and we're going to be looking forward to a exciting new title as part of the Echo VR game, which is, of course, Echo Combat. And we'll find out a little bit more about that later on in the show. But yeah, first of all, obviously, I think we should probably start talking about Onward, which is kind of like the big one. Obviously, we were both there, and that's kind of what we've been working on. And it's, basically, to explain the game in very, very simple terms, kind of a first-person military simulator, a mil-sim-style game, very slow-paced, very heavily tactical.
That's the big thing there. It's not your normal FPS. It's a little different. I'm sure you'll see elements of that, and I'm sure we can describe a little bit after that little bit of a look we're going to have in a second.
Yeah, indeed, of course. So that's kind of the thing. The main thing about it is that it's all about the way in which you kind of like slow down that gameplay and really focus, and bring that strategy in. Well, of course, we do have a little trailer for you. So if you watch this, you'll get a better view of what Onward is really like. And that, as you have it, is Onward. You can just see, I just love how it's such a huge variance in maps with these massively open stages. And, as we saw, I think it was Bazaar, close space. We saw some exciting stuff last week on that map for sure. Because it's always a moving objective, it's never in one spot. I think that's kind of the main thing to try and kind of talk about is that the objective, the idea is obviously you can either wipe out your teammates for 1 point, or if you can get the uplink and, tap in the code on the tablet that you have have in game, you get 2 points. So because it's always moving around, it's always changing and shifting the way in which you approach every single map. So not only does the maps give you variance as well, but then the positioning of those objectives also change that up hugely too.
No, and I think the trailer gives you an idea, but you don't realize how much there is to it. The communication system, I'm sure we can really get into that. But you'll see the players reaching over here, I'm sure, in the clips coming up soon. And that's because they're radioing calls that the enemies can hear if they're close enough. There's so many small nuances to that game that completely blew my mind. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, the communication has just got so much depth to it as well in terms of, having spatial, like volume, like depending on how far away you are from people, you have to shout louder, and those kind of things are picked up in game. It just keeps going on. We're talking about the motions,
so much,
how much the players have to actually do to play that game. And that's obviously very, very exciting. So we should probably talk about the actual structure of the tournament that we had over the weekend. So let's have a little look at just the way the bracket was going. It was 4 teams were invited. 4 of the best teams around the world were invited to Leicester, and that was Globochem, SMC Tactical, Beginners, and Mob Squad. Globochem, SMC Tactical, and Mob Squad hailing mostly from America, and Beginners being the sole European showcase there. Globochem potentially was one of the more
they're the ones to look at. Yeah, they're the names that would stand out. If you'd watched this league before, if you knew the game, they'd be the team you go, I know them. And I'm going to give you a little hint. They did pretty well. I mean, they were outstanding. Again, if you are used to your traditional FPS game, best of 3s throughout the tournament. It was nothing too crazy, but when you watch the in-game footage, there's so many small things. You think, oh, why is he looking at his wrist? Oh, it's because he's counting the seconds until that round is done. There's so many of these small nuanced moments that can really define a game. But the tournament was phenomenal. I think we got to see how physical VR can be and how much of a toll it can take on these players sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they were very, very long, and because it's a slower paced game, the teams that tended to really use that and really bring the game to not to a standstill, but to these really intricate moments of silence. Some of those longer matches can, really get to you, and you have to take a break, a good 15 minutes just to breathe and really think about what you've just gone through, and then have to, recoup for the next match. We do have a wonderful recap though of everything that happened on day 1, and we'll take you through that a little bit, but check this out.
The VR League Onward Invitational, brought to you by Intel, is here, ladies and gentlemen, live from ESL UK studios.
I know these guys have timed plays down, and wow, a flank from Captain Soda, grabbing 2.
And if you can keep this under pressure, it looks like Toast. Oh, he's found another as well. Great play from Soja.
He does not want to get spotted. Otto's pushing quickly. 10 seconds left. Land is not looking over. He hears Mix now. Oh, he sees Otto. Shots out. He tags Otto. 5 seconds left. Mix has to push around this corner to get Land, and he doesn't know he's there. Trying to cap and Land, and saves it for Globochem. And he was camping in that corner for a long time. He was waiting for that angle to happen. Huni hears him now. Doesn't get the shots. Toast right underneath him. Pops up and tags him on the stairs.
Beginners and Mob Squad are down on our stage pretty much already now.
Has got to do something.
What? Why isn't he shooting? What's happening?
Oh, didn't go for it. Wasn't
his
sure.
gun didn't work. His LMG was either out of ammo. You see Mob Squad is laying down suppression on the objective. Squiggle can go in here to throw the grenade up. This could be devastating. Grenade goes in. Smoil's down, but not out. He's the only one who gets taken. Squiggle runs down. He's taken out.
1, 2, 3 jump from the Mob Squad immediately. What a turnaround. There was one down for the Beginners, but that was a massive 3-player KO from the Beginners side.
They just don't expect it. What? No, his gun isn't working. What's happening?
This is great stuff now from Mob Squad.
Oh my.
1-on-1 now. Poopa-choo.
Wow, what happened to
Sinkas?
Again, the gun didn't fire. Oh, and Mob Squad take it.
Wow.
2 defenders down. They're pushing in with a real push now.
And they get another KO back onto Beginners. 3 KOs. It is 2 for 2 now.
Oh, Kensei not in time with it. He gets flanked and taken down. It's 1 versus 2 now.
Wow.
Oh,
gets taken down.
It's a trade, but there's still a Mob Squad left.
He's definitely where to go.
Flashes out on top of the... He's flashed, and he's down.
Wow, immediate there from Plot. Wow. Wonderful play, and he does have the regular grenade. Primes it.
2 Beginners down.
Oh no, it's a double double kill. What is making this work for his team? Absolutely amazing.
If they can get those residents,
Smoils. No, doesn't get it.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Wow, Smoils goes down.
And it means Mob Squad are going to be facing off against Globochem.
Keeps him suppressing fire. Thunderpilot goes in. He gets the kill.
He's inside. He can cap right now.
This is massive. This could be 2. This could be Globochem with a turn. Pupachu has to do something. He plays out. He gets 1. Oh!
There was a team kill.
No.
Thunderpilot got team killed. How could it happen? How could it go like this? They can still ride the momentum of playing well on Quarantine, getting that map dub. 3 inside this building now for Globochem. Mob Squad have to be getting very nervous. Semper getting 1. Otto peeking out, can't shoot through the wood, gets him. The Nolamite coming down looking for Otto, comes behind him, but he doesn't see him. He goes out the backside.
Oh my god, Nolamite, this guy just runs. He's got some legs on him. Surely gonna be wondering now. Oh, look at this Nolamite. This guy is just going wild. Look at, he's not expecting this Nolamite. Off the corner, the trade comes in, but it's Globochem.
Globochem getting the Marsoc dub.
On that outside window, peekaboo, and that is problematic. Pants goes down, and already the trades come through. This is actually good for Globochem.
The nade up top got 2, right where they needed it. Now they're up in that second story. Raphael's in a place where he can cap right now. He has to get Arsenic down. He doesn't get Arsenic. They're trading. Arsenic's down. Raphael wins the round. They get the kills.
Arsenic needs to get a move on now, and it's time to go. Pants, can he stop it before it starts? He does indeed, and it's Globochem to lock it down. We are going to a 3rd map. And now 1 man stands for Globochem. It's Auto. 40 seconds to hold on. He picks up 1. He's got 2 more to find. Pupachu goes around the corner. Oh, he's got a 2nd. It's down to a 1v1 now. Mod Squad are sweating bullets. Auto on the run. Where is our Semper? Can he hold on? He's trying to find a position.
Semper sees him through the fence, and they can't shoot each other.
Oh, Semper, what are you going to do? 7 seconds, 6, you've got to make your move, or it's Globochem surely on the verge of victory here. Mob Squad have run out of options, and they've run out of time. It's Globochem going through to the grand finals.
A lot of action there on that first day. That was only the first half of it.
That's true, yeah.
I think one of the most, one of the most exciting moments of that day was that Mob Squad versus Globochem. You know, when it was 3-2 in favor of Mob Squad. But we were talking about this 2-point thing where if you get the uplink, you get 2 points, and it is first of 4 per map.
That
3-2
team
down.
kill. Oh.
3-2 down, he just had to input the code and it would have been their map. But the team kill, as you mentioned, came through, and then it was just a simple kill from the other side, and Mob Squad took it. It was that was the only map that Globochem lost that day, because they went completely 2-0 over SMC Tactical and were just seeming to be cruising through. But you know, Mob Squad managed to take that one map out, which is a bit of an exciting one, rather.
Honestly, it really was. That was such a surprise to see. I mean, Globochem came into this, and I think if you watch VR, if you know of these teams, you look at them to be setting the pace, the trends. They have a lot going in their favor, some incredibly talented players, but the way they came into that, the communication we heard, the approaches, the tactical element, and even the individual skill they displayed was flawless. And I think that set us up a little bit for day 2. We kind of had this idea in our minds, who's going to reach up with them? Who's going to catch up with these guys? And we did see teams getting very close. Yeah,
I mean, because we should mention it because it was a double elimination bracket. After SMC Tactical and Beginners were beaten by Mob Squad and Globochem, they did drop down into a lower bracket. So we have these 2 teams who are going to be making a huge run all the way through losers to have another shot at, you know, the team waiting in grand finals, being Globochem, who, you know, up to that point had only been pushed a little bit. We should mention as well that after Mob Squad did take that first map, they then went on to an 8-round winning spree and did not lose a single one after that. So they were kind of feeling it a little bit. So
lower bracket time. This is and normally when you look at tournaments, the lower bracket run, it's frustrating because you know you've got a lot of games, but it's okay. You forget with this game, it is so physical. You're seeing them on the screens up and down constantly. I mean, it's not easy. If you start feeling out early, if you start, you know, didn't rest well, didn't, you know, eat well, whatever it is, it can genuinely hinder you in these games. You have to be so ready to play. It's actually very tricky. You'll see a lot of lower bracket teams burn out if they're not careful.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, you mentioned that very, very aptly here, because SMC Tactical, this is the losers final, so the winners of this will go on to play Globochem. But SMC Tactical had just beaten Beginners, the only European team in that bracket, in a very, very long
extended
2-1.
Series,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
very, very long series. I think it was 4-3 in that third map. They had been playing for a while. You know, so SMC Tactical at this point, really like emotionally and physically worn.
Yeah, Nolomite there sneakily got the uplink, which we were talking about, which gives you 2 points. So they didn't lose a single round. Now you're hearing the comms here as well. You'll hear a couple of these calls coming out mid-game. They're just trying to relay that information. I love this element of this game. Mr. Beefy was one of my MVPs, considering SMC didn't have the longest of runs. They didn't push it as far as I'd like to have seen them go. But him, to me, was great. He was a real personality at the front of the stage, really getting his teammates going. But again, there were some brilliant plays coming out. And Mob Squad, to me, were a team with a lot of kind of grit and determination.
Yeah, I mean, they had, they were the only ones that really push Globochem, and then they had beaten SMC Tactical before, so they're trying to put their stamp on day 2, because this is their first game of the day, and they, as you can see, they won that first map 4-0, and as you can see them in this position right here, looking to be a complete sweep. They played so well. They really wanted to send a message to Globochem.
Oh, they absolutely did, and it did send a message. I think that is very true and can be put through there. But Mob Squad were flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got 3 uplinks in this. Yes. They were so aggressive, just out of the gates in game 1, the immediate uplink, and then just never failed a defense or an offense. It was incredible
flawless
stuff.
It's very rare you'll see that. Again, I think in this game, if you play FPS games, the defending side is normally a little biased, but in this, you're holding those angles. It's very hard on the attack, but they made it work. So I think that's the real display of how strong they were in that lower bracket game.
Yeah, and I think that kind of really pushed them on going into the grand final. So we're going to show you a little bit of just how that went down. Globochem, who've been waiting all day at this point to get their first game. They were waiting for the lower bracket to finish. But Globochem, despite watching Mob Squad just play a flawless game, came out swinging, and it really proved why they are one of the best teams.
Absolutely. And I think seeing the guy Pants on the screen, he's considered one of the best players in the game individually. And the one thing that blew my mind, I remember talking to my co-cast who were on the analysis desk about this. We were going, this is different from Globochem. We haven't seen this tactic from this approach from them. It was because Pants had called it on the fly. He'd been coming up with tactics just before they go in. And in a game where it's not your normal sit on comms with your teammates and you can call all the time, it makes no difference. I mean, that's very tricky. There's no mini-map. There's no way to see who your teammates are. This is, really brilliant work from Globochem to be able to come into this with such a fresh mindset. Mob Squad expected something else, and they were not ready for what Globochem brought. Yeah, they really did kind of just hit the ground running. And you were mentioning, Pants, the entire team of Globochem. This was perhaps one of the more exciting rounds, I should say, of map 1, where it came down to this one-on-one. The time left, 7 seconds. Yeah, and you just see Toast was just making the aggressive play, but went for the KO rather than the uplink, as he just managed to get the right catch on the right side. So it was a 4-0 in favor of Globochem in that first round, but this is where Mob Squad, were, it was looking tough for them. They had to make something happen in Bazaar. We hadn't seen this map pool from these teams really either. Globochem hadn't been seen on this map yet. This was the first time we're seeing it in the grand finals. What a way to play a map pool out. That's not what you normally see from teams. They play their comfort picks, but this was theirs, and they just kind of, again, came into this. Mob Squad did put up a fight, though. This is where you started to see them having a little bit of a pushback. Individuals started to warm up a bit, but again, Mob Squad had just had this grueling game. You could see it taking a bit of a toll on them there. Yeah, I mean, just there you can see Pants, his reaction time and his ability to immediately just zone in on someone and punish them is huge. And I think that played a lot of, it played a big part in these wins. Thunder Pilot and Pants in particular have incredible reaction speed. And it was just the amount of trades or one-on-ones that were in their favor, or at the very least a trade. Now, I love this part as well. The way this was played out, really smart from Nolomite. We'll see it from his perspective in a second. It's essentially denying Globochem 2 points. He knows he can't win this anymore. He's taking down the player who's doing the uplink, but he pushes in, so the other teammate then kills him. That denies the 2-point uplink. So they lose the round, but they managed their losses. You can see these very smart decisions being made in the game here. And I think that, to me, was, again, so impressive. Even though Mob Squad had just been through the ringer, they'd been really pushed through it. It was great play from him there. Yeah, I mean, we should also mention that this is, one of those really, really dangerous and kind of
more intricate maps because there's so many nooks and crannies and like lines of sight that you have to really be aware of. And I think that the way that Globochem kind of clamped down on that and really just tried to like focus themselves, it was very, very like it was just brilliant, you know. But Mob Squad played really, really well and did bring it back to this 3-all space. They were so, you know, you can see it's 4-2. It's not an insurmountable like set of odds, but it was really, really tough for them at this point. You could see how close it was. Again, whoever wins this round would have taken the map, and Globochem sitting here on match point. But it's just, at the end of it, you could just see...
Animal play from Pants there.
Just being able to find things. Yeah, and Globochem did take the win and got the big check. We like big checks. And took home that $5,000 $5,000 prize money, and they were the winners. So what an incredible weekend of action for the Onward Invitational. It
was phenomenal. And just to shout out to the teams as well, they decided they wanted to donate some of that money to the Stack Up charity who are involved in the event. I think that was amazing from them. I forget to say, but they're such a community-driven sort of audience.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the way that VR plays into it. They know kind of each other in game, right? They talk to each other, and then this was the first time a lot of these teams ever met up or saw these guys they've been playing with. So it was such a community feel, such a good vibe in there as well. So there's no, bad blood. It was all this really cool atmosphere. Everyone sat down, watched the games in the break, and they're just having a good time. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I think the kind of, as you say, the vibe in the room was amazing. Like, you know, we could hear even upstairs on the caster desk, just hear them all the time. Yeah, just like, we got so loud. I'm like, is that the players? No, it was the other guys watching. It was a very, very kind of exciting and really like warm, a really warm experience, I'd say.
Yeah.
And obviously it was supporting Stack Up, which is a wonderful charity who do great work as well. So it's a pleasure to do that. But we do have the final bracket for you, so we'll show you how everything went down. So on day one, obviously, was the upper bracket with Globochem beating out SMC Tactical 2-0 and Mob Squad taking out Beginners 2-0. And then Globochem 2-1 over Mob Squad to take that grand finals. And then day two on the loser's side bracket, we were talking about that monstrous game to begin it out with the SMC Tactical just beating Beginners 2-1. And then Mob Squad with their 2-0 sweep of SMC Tactical afterwards. And then that very, very tense finale with Globochem eventually just proving why they are the best in the grand finals.
I was always curious if it was going to kind of play out like other games, because often if you go through that lower bracket side, you feel warmed up, you feel ready, but you forget in VR, it's so physical, it can really add on to the exhaustion level. So for Globochem, they must be so happy that they got to sit towards the finals, wait towards the later stages, see everyone else play it out, and they come in fresh and ready to go.
Yeah. Indeed. But yeah, that was the Onward Invitational that took place last week. What we're going to do is take a very, very short break, and then we'll come back and talk to you about the other side of the VR League action very, very recently. Don't go anywhere.
We are back. We are legendary. We are passionate. We are Cologne.
The strike comes in for me!
We are one.
Tribox. Stairs.
Nothing great ever happened without a witness.
Oh, you guys saw that?
With the power to capture comes the need to share.
Check this.
Followed by the eyeballs and loud mouths chomping at the bit.
That was nuts.
The fate of the game rests in your hands.
Check this out. No.
Oh my God.
Leave nothing to chance. Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back to the VR League recap show. My name is Bowie, and I'm joined by Pansy here to talk about the recent action that's been going down on the VR League. We were just discussing Onward, obviously the invitational at Leicester that we attended and casted last week, and kind of went through all of the exciting action there. But we do, of course, have one other game that happened last week. I believe it was here, here from the Cologne studios, which was Echo Arena. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about this interesting VR game.
See, I'm getting used to this too, because I've been seeing it at events here and there. I was like, what are they up to? You know, obviously it's a little bit more mobile than most other games when you look at it. People are moving around, so I'm like, all right, a little peek. But in my mind when I first saw it, I was like, Quidditch, VR, throwing, frisbee? I didn't get my head around it, but I've been recently catching up and getting into it, and it's wild to watch. It's kind of a 3v3 style, I guess, free-moving. It's a crazy game. You'll see some footage, but essentially it's 3v3 and you score points on each other. And how you do that is with an object, frisbee, ball, however you want to kind of call it, that looking item, into a goal on the opponent. And the brilliance to me is the movement system. I think anyone who sees this will go, that looks cool, especially in VR, because you're kind of in free space. So you can do anything. You can use the objects in the map, which you'll definitely see to propel yourself forward. So many elements of this game really surprised me, and I've actually enjoyed watching a good couple of these games now.
Yeah, I think, again, there's I think the way I describe it is kind of like a geometric anti-gravity playground in a way.
Yes, I think that's very specific, but yes.
Huge, I know, very specific, just a general idea. Very, very long maps with all these little pieces of what I guess would just describe as debris or cover areas that people can use to launch themselves around and kind of get these wonderful positions. And as you say, because they're so varied and wild, seeing players play, they have to try and figure out where they are, if they're on the ceiling or on the floor or on the walls, and orientate themselves. And it's just these players going up and down. It's incredible stuff.
No, I'm really looking forward to having a look at this again as well, because I think we're going to have a little glimpse at what's been going on. Indeed.
For you guys at home, if you haven't seen it, here's a little bit of an intro into Echo Arena.
Dynamic VR controls meet a zero-gravity movement system as you and your robotic teammates take on all comers in this competitive multiplayer title from Ready at Dawn Studios. The premise is simple enough. Score points by throwing, bouncing, and ricocheting the disc into the opponent's goal. Teams will earn 2 points for a short-range goal and 3 points for sinking the disc at long range. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 5-minute game timer wins the round. Whichever team wins 2 of the 3 rounds is the match winner. It's not just about accurate throws of the disc. The map is full of obstacles. Players will have to use Zero Gravity's dynamic movement options to navigate, and they each have personal thrusters to propel themselves around the map. Using the arena is a critical part of any winning strategy. Like any sport, Echo Arena isn't just about offense. Defense is central to the game, and a good goalie can make all of the difference. Players can also gain an upper hand by incapacitating enemies with a powerful punch that will free the disc and provide opportunities for breakaways and defensive clears.
Hectic stuff.
Yes.
All over the shop. I think, just being able to just figure out where you are and be able to effectively get around that map is going to be so huge for players.
Absolutely. I mean, listening to Blue explain it, he nailed that. Thank you, Blue, for that lovely bit of work. It's hard to get your head around, but once you see it, you're like, this makes sense. This is a really cool way to play through VR, and there's so many teams playing it. There's so many incredible players out there. There's so much to be seen through what's coming out through the VR League.
Yeah, and I think the tournament structure for this one is quite an epic one. There's a lot going on when it comes to the Echo Arena. So, would you like to take this or shall I?
I'll give it a go, all right? Now I'll give it a good go. So essentially, there's multiple ways to get through to the very end of this, which is the Oculus Connect 5 big convention center. That's the end goal. But prior to that, you have 1 to 6 cups going on. So that's a lot of teams able to qualify through that to the stage finals. You get the last chance qualifier in there, and that goes through the EU qualifiers and NA qualifiers. But also alongside that, you'll have the Go For rankings. One team can also come through that way. And then the Echo Arena ladder. First place gets themselves through. So again, get your team together, get your buddies together. You've got so many avenues to get through to those stage finals, where obviously the top 2 do go through, and you keep working your way forward. You build up that long, long ladder. but no one can ever doubt you when you get to those finals because, I mean, you've worked hard to get there.
Yeah, really, indeed. I mean, this is the thing. If you don't make it through Cup 1, you can, you try Cup 2 and 3. I believe Cup 2 and 3 were obviously over the weekend.
I think 3's been done now.
Yeah, Cup 3 was the weekend just gone. So there are 3 left. 3 left that you can do. And of course, this is for each individual one of those stage finals that you go through. Like the top 2 from each cup would probably be put, or the top 1 from each cup, because there's 2 cups.
Exactly. There's 2 cups going on at the same time, but in the same sort of position.
Yeah. So you have your top 8 teams that go through to each bar, and it's just there's so many opportunities to keep going, and it's going to be one of those exciting ones that when we do get to Oculus Connect 5 is going to be quite an exciting one.
It's going to be amazing, I can imagine. Again, if it's anything like we saw from Onward, I can imagine how hard these teams are working just to get that opportunity. So what an incredible chance for them to really push it through to that very final stage.
Yeah. Now, obviously, myself and Pansy weren't there, unfortunately, for Echo Arena, but obviously for you guys at home, we do have a little recap of what went down during the Echo Arena tournament.
Hello everyone, welcome to the VR League, brought to you by ESL here live in our Cologne studios. It's going to be our first match, going to be Ducks Quack up against Bounce.
Ducks Quack might be a bit under pressure here. They still got their goalie as last man standing in front of the goal, getting closer and then turning around that goalie, scoring that important first goal here in overtime and also winning that map.
And currently Bounce are leading 1-0. Remember, it's just a best of 3, and that's a great little pass over to Jorgen, and Jorgen's going to slam it in. Gets himself a very early score. Bounce is just stealing this game away.
But now Bounce once again in position. They're scoring another one, putting this up to 4-0. Seems like the Ducks Quack don't really get into the game so far.
All right, guys, we're getting into our second match of the day of 4. It's going to be Eminence up against a BLT with Cheese. He's actually lurking from behind, which I'm assuming Boop's been able to spot out. He continues to push up with the disc. He gets the pass off, and there's Tanile is able to get the shot on the goal. The question for us is BLT this good, or is Eminence just not close to their level? Either way, loading into our second round here. It's going to be BLT on the blue again, and Eminence on the orange, and so far it's a 1-0 lead for BLT. But again,
beautifully done. 3 passes right in front of the goal, and then across the goal to score. Wow, that was really good.
And now we're going into another exciting match, actually a potentially very close one, as it's going to be Kairos up against Team Gravity.
Oh, but what a steal, and then an open goal, yeah. Zero scoring another one. That was a 3-pointer for Ceres doing the 3-pointer from the back. No, not happening. But then the easy one to at least score 2.
Yeah, and they do take the round and do take the lead here. I believe both teams are also 2-0 since this is format. Winners always play winners. Now our final match of the night, it's going to be Aftershock against Get Swifty. The disc, it gets away from him. Can't get the backward pass. He uses the island to jump around. He's got a defender now finally against him. And he goes for the shot. He gets it. Oh, the missed bounce, the missed pass. He goes in for the Hail Mary shot, and he gets it from downtown. 33 meters away, and Aftershock get another 3 points on the board.
Aftershock putting on a show here and making sure that they're the favorite for the next match.
Either way, guys, we're loading into our second round here. It's Aftershock on the orange, currently leading 1-0, and Get Swifty on the blue. Let's see if Get Swifty can get back into this one. Now it's going to be all on Kai, alone by himself. Tutorial just walking it in. Gets the bounce off the backboard. He gets the juke. That was a great shot. Aftershock taking a 2-0 against Get Swifty. We're underway now with our final match of the day. Giggles and Screams on the orange side and Gravity on the blue. Be a big victory for them if they can take this off of Team Gravity.
I just love, oh, that was a quick one. I just want to say something about Team Gravity. They go for the first score here with Martin the third.
There you go. All right, he gets shot. He gets a 3-pointer, most importantly. Does pull it to a 6-point difference, a 6-point game here with 1:37 left to go.
And they're positioning once again, trying to have a clean shot, but even against 2 goalies, Alphantara here takes another score. It's 40 now on the side of Gravity.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time.
Not too bad stuff there from the weekend.
That.
I love that moment when we had that huge, like that massive long range throw from Aftershock.
Aftershock.
Yeah, it was like 11-0. I think it was 11-0 in that first game. Absolutely brilliant stuff from them. I was going to say, like, I think the two teams that qualified during the weekend were, they were called BLT in the VOD, but they've since changed their name over to blah, blah, blah. So blah, blah, blah and Team Gravity making their way through there. So that was, they were kind of the overall winners.
And speaking about BLT, when they were under that name, their passing game was great as well. You saw that on the initial clips. The way that they build up towards it, I love the way that looked. Again, this is something you can really just enjoy as a spectator. I was really surprised how good and fluid that looked as a game. So again, I'm looking forward to what they can do. And obviously for the teams who didn't make it through that time, or if your friends are at home or watching, maybe you guys can get yourselves together and, you know, have a go at it. There's cups, there's the Go 4s, there's the ladder. So many ways to have a go at this. And,
I was going to say, you were mentioning just the passing, and that kind of, I think, is the way you build pressure in this game is very, very unique because of the way it all operates. And I think that's kind of the really kind of interesting things that I like when I was watching it. So yeah, definitely something to look forward to. Obviously, we do obviously want to let you guys know how you can get involved and sign up for, you know, for this. Pansy, if you want to take that one for me.
All right. So if you do, you know, you're at home, you've got a little bit of VR going on. You're like, all right, I got this game. Me and my friends are all right at it. Well, why don't you prove it to us? Why don't you just get involved? So I can show you exactly as to how. For starters, it's quite simple. You just go vr.eslgaming.com. That's the easy part. I can actually show you how this works real quick. Here we go. Nice and easy. So tell me more? No, we're not telling you more right now. We're telling you exactly how to do this. Participate. That's what we're after. Echo Arena. Nice and easy. And then we wait for this to load up because, you know, production, it always happens. But essentially, you'll go through to the ESL Play website, which I'm sure you're all super aware of by now. That's nothing new to you. You can actually have a little look at it now, nice and easy. Now, just so you know, these are the cups already going on. You don't want that. You want to click on this one to register for it. So the admin then can just place you into it, and it's job done. Super easy, super simple. Again, just head over to vr.eslgaming.com and you guys can have a chance to prove to us how good you are, because I want to see you guys in the next sort of go of things.
Exactly. We have plenty of opportunities to make sure you can hit that Oculus Connect 5 convention center. I think you said convention center, but you can get there and you can show your skills on the biggest stage possible for VR, and that's kind of what we're all after. There's plenty of opportunities. Make sure you don't miss it. But speaking of plenty of opportunities, we should talk about the kind of next step when it comes to Echo, because obviously Echo Arena is part of a wider thing called Echo VR. Lone Echo being the single player element of it, but now we had Echo Arena, so we should probably talk about Echo Combat. But before we talk about it, have a look.
Ready the team. Aim for victory. Fire up the payload. Join the open beta at oculus.com/EchoCombat.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. Taking all of those mechanics and that kind of like approach you know and love, and kind of making it a lot more, let's say aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously the objective payload-based, you know, gameplay that we do know and recognize, and obviously, you know, putting that into the 3v3 nature, using the anti-gravity, the thrusters, and, you know, the whole like cover system that it has, makes for a very, very exciting and interesting game to play. So I believe we had a closed beta recently, but there will be an open beta coming up that you can get involved in. I believe the link will be available for you momentarily. So if you do want to get involved in that open beta, you can, and definitely try it out. The game will obviously be releasing later on down the line. Make sure to obviously keep up with that wherever possible.
Down below.
Yeah. There it is. Great.
Easy.
Oh, I don't know why I'm looking down. I should be looking down. Still not used to how like low the screens are.
We're used to VR. That's the thing. When you look down, it's there. We're back in reality. It's tough.
Absolutely. Real life. Yeah, it's tough.
No good at it.
It's tough.
No good at it. But what I do like about this game is I'm already checking out a couple of, there's a bit of video out there. There's some information about it, and even the classes that you can play, or at least the different approaches you can play to this game. I feel is you can get that mid, that close range, that long range. I think it's Nova, Pulsar, and Comet. There's all different types of things you can do. So let's say you're a bit more of a sniper. Let's say you're a little bit more of a sit back, a bit of a patient player, there's something for you. If you want to get aggressive, get in their faces, there's also something for you too. So, I mean, it looks really good. It looks smooth. And again, looking at the gameplay thus far, it looks exceptionally kind of well made. It looks very, very polished.
And it's exciting to see what our players are going to be able to do. Not only do you have that really aggressive option, but, you know, using things like the tac mods to really change kind of how you're going to be supporting your team as you're making your approach to that payload. Or if you are moving it, how you're going to push forward to prevent them being able to get back. Obviously, there are a variety of players who, we were mentioning the closed beta, have been playing and have been able to show us just exactly why, you know, they're interested in it and what they can do. I believe we have, is it Lemming VR, the player that we've been keeping an eye on, and having a little look at his gameplay here. So you can see obviously just how much he's getting into it, but obviously you can defeat your opponents. You have the long range choice, but you can get in there with that melee as well. But if you do want to obviously follow this chap, you can subscribe to his YouTube for more content and to check out a little bit more about Echo Combat.
Bear in mind, he's also come from Echo Arena, so these skills are transferable. I know this player used to play for Eclipse. I don't know if he still does. I'm not 100% sure on where he's at, but I remember seeing him, I think it was at Katowice in the finals. So this guy, you know, big talent coming in from the VR sort of world as well. And you can see how brutal this gets. It feels really satisfying from looking at it, though.
Yeah, he's surgical, the way he just sees someone, locks them down, gets in close in their face and finishes them off, trying to protect that flamingo in the center.
We're questioning the flamingo, but you know what? Not for now. It's precious payload.
Yeah, precious payload. You've got to look after the flamingo. Because, of course, you want to take a... It looks like, you know, a float.
Yeah, he's taking it to the pool.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be relaxing. But yeah, you can just see, you know, all of those kind of the same approach, the same skills that you're using, you know, using that cover, you know, the accuracy of it all is all kind of like, it's at your fingertips.
I love how hands-on you can get as well. You can literally get into the players' faces and just deliver those, you know, the pulsar sort of looking bullets to the brain. I love the look of it. And I love how just kind of quick-paced it looks. It doesn't look too passive. Again, all those objective games can look a little slow and not my jam, but Lemming here is just showing us that you can play a nasty game of this. You can be real brutal about it. And he's so aggressive in the way he's playing. He's chasing people down and he feels confident about it. And it looks good. So I can't wait to see this being played out by teams. I want to see what strat. Look at him. Like, literally gets around the other player, holds on with his left hand, with the right hand, just, you know, right up close.
Yeah, he's very, very, very aggressive. And you can just see, again, if you look on the bottom right, just how much he's doing. You know, how, you know, he's absolutely having to look around. He's having to turn his body in that virtual space. And it's just, he has put so much into it. And I think this is kind of the thing with VR. Some people are normally a little bit hesitant, a little bit apprehensive to really just let go and just get into that world. And you can see Lemming, he just is completely and utterly respectful of what he needs to do to really, to exceed. And you can just see it.
Look how you can hold on to things as well. Like in the other game, obviously, you can do the same thing in Echo Arena. But I mean, seeing it when it's, you know, this kind of in your face and this.
Yeah. He's like. Yeah, he's just like butter around the map as well.
He makes it look so smooth.
Yeah, like this is the thing. It is a geometrical playground. Everything you can use it as, you know, ways to get around and move and kind of like you use it. You can like kind of like ping pong yourself around or, you know, pinball yourself around rather around this map, and it just increases like, you know, the speed of the game in such a way that it's just something to look forward to for sure.
And I can't wait to see more experienced players playing this. You know, if you go into a game and you're up against Lemming, you know you're going to be in trouble regardless. Yeah. So I want to see what happens when you get, you know, some real experienced players getting their hands on with this one. And obviously you guys at home will be able to try it out soon. That beta's coming around again. So, I mean, hopefully we get to see some more of this footage coming up. And I can't wait to see more of this. He's just so good at navigating the map. I think there's so many skill sets here. Yeah. You know, in a lot of games, there's a lot of just, you know, mechanical aim. That's it. But in VR, the movement is so imperative. And you can see as to why. It gives you so much more versatility around the maps and creating these kind of opportunities to really try and turn the tide for your team.
Yeah, and I think what we're just seeing now as well is we're just seeing this, the one player going in solo, and it's like I'm really excited to see, you know, what's going to happen when players, you know, just have more hands-on time as a whole, and then get to, you know, playmaking, really building strategies together to use these maps to their advantage, and what they're going to be able to do in future. It's an exciting thing. You know, obviously you can see, you know, just the customability you have there. Customability? That's not a word. Customization options.
I was going to go with it. I was going to help you out. I was like, yes.
Yeah, customability. That's a brand new word. I'm gonna speak to the Oxford. The Oxford Dictionary guy.
The Oxford. Just speak to the Oxford on the phone. Hello,
the
Oxford
Dictionary chaps. This is a brand new word that I just made up on the fly from.
And I support it.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's obviously we were mentioning the open beta now is available. I think it's over the weekend. It's
pretty sure.
So it's going on tomorrow as well. Again, you can get involved in that. We'll pop the link again one more time for you guys to see. So you can definitely get involved with that if you do. If you obviously have Oculus and you do have Echo VR, it's something that you can definitely get into and try out in the future. But I do believe that is kind of it for the VR recap show that we have for you today. We've gone through the 2 tournaments that happened over the weekend for the Onward Invitational and Combat Arena, Echo Arena. It's getting late in the day.
It is.
I'm getting older and older. I need to go to bed earlier and earlier.
VR's, one thing about VR is as well that I love the way that it's not just the young people playing it. We've got a real varied crowd. So maybe there's hope for you.
Yes, I have a place. But indeed, yes, this was the VR League recap show brought to you by Intel. I've been Bowie, and of course, she's been Pansy, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.